Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Patrick. I am the founder of Lion Family and I am the sole developer on all three of the Lion Family apps. I wanted to create a YouTube channel where I could talk about the apps, explain them, give you tips and tricks for how to protect your kids online. This is the first video of many, and in this video I'm going to go over Lion Browser. So you might be asking yourself, what is Lion Browser? Lion Browser is actually a web browser replacement that you would download on an iOS device, so it can go on an iPhone or an iPad. And what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to replace Safari or any other browser that you might have on those devices. So I'm just going to walk you through setting up Lion Browser as if I had just installed it, and I can walk you through the parental controls and how to set those up. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to tap on Lion Browser, and here we have it. This is, like I said, just a web browser. It's like Safari or Chrome, but it has parental controls built in. So the first thing you'll want to do as, a parent or maybe as someone else's partner is go in and set up the app. To set up the app, you're going to go in and tap these three dots here in the right corner. I highly recommend creating a Lion Family account first. If you create a Lion Family account, it syncs your bookmarks to the cloud, and it also saves all the parental controls, the partners, all the stuff that you set up in the app will be saved and synced to the cloud. So then if you download the app on an iPad and log in, you'll have all your bookmarks, all your partners, everything will be set up already. So highly recommend creating a Lion Family account. Then you'll notice here there's setup guides. Setup guides are basically what this video is, but in a guide form. If it's your first time setting up Lion, you can tap there and it'll tell you exactly what you should do to get the most out of Lion. So for example, disable Safari. You definitely want to do that. And it goes through the steps of how to disable Safari. And then a highly recommended next step is to disable the App Store completely or enable something like Ask to Buy. This prevents whoever's using this app from downloading other browsers and being able to use those instead of Lion. And then I have these age-based setup guides, which you'll see here, ages 13 and under, ages 13 and up. So yeah, the setup guides are just there to help you if you forget or you forget what was said in this video. You can go through the age-based setup guides, and those will walk you through individual parental controls that you might want to set up for ages 13 and under or ages 13 and up. And those are all optional. It's up to you to decide what you think is best for your kid or your teen or your friend or whoever's using the app. And then need help down here is just if you need to contact me directly, it's literally a direct line, a chat, and I will answer your questions. So that's what Get Help is. So before I go into parental controls, what I want to explain to you is behind the scenes, Lion is using AI to detect explicit images. At the bare minimum, if you set up a partner and that's all you do, Lion is still using AI behind the scenes to detect explicit content. So how that works is someone goes to a website and we then check the contents of that website and we check, is there explicit images in that website? And then if it detects an explicit image, it will add that website to a list. And then that list gets sent to partners every week. So you're using the browser, you're going to different websites. Oh, an explicit image came up. That website would be flagged and then added to the log. And then that log, again, goes out to every partner once a week. Okay, so once you get into parental controls, the first thing you're going to want to do is set a parental controls pin. This pin makes it so that, let's say your son John is using this app. You set up these parental controls. You don't want him to be able to change it because it's on his device. So you're going to set up a pin so that John cannot change the parental controls. So I'll set a quick pin here. And now the pin is saved. So anytime I want to go back into these parental controls, it's going to ask me for a pin. So this is just a quick way for you to protect the parental controls so that your kids or whoever is using this app cannot go in and change the parental controls that you have set up. Once you input the PIN, now you can set up the parental controls. So the next thing you want to do is you want to add a partner. Accountability partners are friends, family, parents. It depends who's using the app, but these would be people that are helping you and keeping you accountable on this journey. So for example, if I'm setting this up for my son, I would add myself as a partner. So I'll go into partners, tap add new. The first thing it's going to ask is add your name. This is the name of the person that the device belongs to. So if I'm setting it up for my kid, let's just call him John, I'll put his name in. This is to identify who's using the device. So John is using the device. Now I can go in and I can add my information. So I'll add my name, and then I'll add my email and save. So now I'm added as a partner on my child's device, and now I will receive emails and things like that. So let me go back into parental controls. Now let's go through each of the parental controls and you can kind of understand what they do. So the first one here, allow whitelist websites only. Basically, it says it right here, by turning this option on, users will only be allowed to visit websites in the whitelist. Also, partners, which I just added, will be notified if this is turned off. So I'm going to turn that on. And now what I can do is any website in this whitelist here, where it says add website to whitelist, anything in this whitelist, those are the only websites that can be visited by the person on this device. So if I want to add a website here, I really like video games, I'm going to add polygon.com. So now only polygon.com can be visited on this device, in the Lion browser. So a whitelist is a good way. If this is recommended, for kids 13 and under, if you want to be able to let them go to educational websites and things like that, then you can set up this whitelist and they can only visit those websites. So that's a great option for younger kids. And then the last option here is notify partners. So anytime, this is just kind of like a failsafe. If I turn this on, anytime a website is added to the whitelist, you'll get an email. All partners will get an email. So if I add google.com to the whitelist, anyone who's my partner will get an email. Hey, this was just added to the whitelist. It's just a failsafe to let partners know, hey, a website was added. Make sure that that was you that added the website. Now, if I scroll down, we have blocking. This should definitely be on for everyone. This is just, Lion has behind the scenes a list of over 4.5 million adult websites. And this, by turning this on, you'll block those websites. So this is just bare minimum. I want to block adult websites. Maybe this is for a teenager who's, 17, 18 years old. And you're like, I'm cool with just blocking adult websites. So that should be on for everyone. And then you have this option also to add your own website to the block list. So for example, if I go in and I'm like, I don't want my daughter going to Instagram.com, you can add that to the block list. So now when my daughter tries to go to Instagram, it's going to be blocked. I can add anything, TikTok, whatever, social media. So you'll be able to add those websites and then they can no longer be visited. The other thing is, this is definitely, I think, a good setting for teenagers above 13 as well. If you want to give them the freedom to browse the web, but you want to know what they're browsing. And that would be this history log email. So you turn that on and then you can set the frequency. You can set daily or weekly. I recommend daily. So you can set that daily. Now all partners will get complete history every day for this device. So that's great. It's a great way to keep track of, what your teens or what your husband or wife, what their history is every day. So a good thing, and this is what I recommend, this is what we use for our daughter. We have history logs turned on and I will check the history. And then if I see websites that I think she shouldn't be going to, I can go in and I can add that to the block list, which is great. Before I get to these extras, I do want to tell you about Lion Family. So Lion Family, I'll go over this in another video, but Lion Family makes all of this so much easier. Right now, by setting up these parental controls and setting up these partners, all of this is powered by email. So if I'm going to get this history log every day, it's going to my inbox. It's going to email me and email all the partners every day. If you don't want to deal with emails and you think like that's maybe too much to keep track of, you can download Lion Family. And what Lion Family does is let you add this device to a family account. And then in Lion Family, you can just look at the history at any moment. So please look out for the video about Lion Family. That makes this so much easier. You don't have to get emails at all. You can just check full history right on your own device. And the other cool thing is all of these parental controls, you can set those up on your device as well. So you'll literally see as I'm adjusting parental controls in Lion Family, they're toggling and adjusting here in the app as well. So if you don't want to have to like grab your kid's phone, every day to set up and make sure parental controls are good, download Lion Family, add them to the family, and then you can adjust parental controls right from your phone. You can see flagged websites, you can see history, all that good stuff. Okay, and then to show you how Lion Family works, I'll open the app and you'll see here that I have family members set up and favorite devices. So if I go into my device, iPhone 17, you can tap into history and you can see the user's history right here in real time. So you don't have to get the email logs. You can just use Lion Family to see that. And then if I go into flagged websites, you'll see here Cosmopolitan is flagged as a blacklisted website. So Lion Family just makes it super easy because no longer do you have to rely on the emails. Instead, you can adjust everything and see everything from your phone. So if I go down to family members here and I tap on Patrick, I can tap parental controls. And this is, as you see, this is the same screen that's in the Lion Browser app. So I can toggle parental controls right from this app and they'll be reflected on the user's device. So this just makes it super easy to adjust that without needing to grab the user's device and adjust it. So that's just a quick intro to Lion Family. Okay, now, lastly, these are just some extras, some things that help you tweak how things are detected and how the parental controls work. These are completely optional, but they do help. So with detection level, by default, it's set to explicit only. This would be explicit images. I don't want to go into detail, but it would be explicit adult content. This setting deals with how the AI detects and flags websites. So what it will do is it will only, when it's scanning a website, it will only look for explicit content. And if it detects it, then it'll flag it and add it to the flagged websites list. If I change this to suggestive and explicit, basically this would be anything. So for example, something that's suggestive, like maybe there's a picture of someone in a swimsuit or a guy bodybuilder without a shirt on. So anything that's kind of suggestive would also be flagged in the flagged website logs. So this just lets you tailor it. I recommend suggestive and explicit, but it depends on, the person that's using the app. Another miscellaneous setting that you can adjust is your attraction type. So this would be for the person using the app, what is their attraction type? So for example, I'll set it to female, and what this means is now it knows that, hey, if let's say I'm a guy into bodybuilding, I don't want it to be flagging all of this bodybuilding content because I'm not even attracted to that. I'm into bodybuilding. I don't care about those images. By setting it to female, it's saying, hey, I'm attracted to females and I only want you to flag suggestive or explicit content for females. Now this could be, let's say I'm a girl and I'm using this app. You would set that to male. Maybe you don't want your daughter looking at like bodybuilding, pictures and stuff like that. So this would actually track it. But because she's a girl, she might be on websites looking for bathing suits, and you don't want it to accidentally flag that. So this is where you would set the attraction type. Lastly, you have this option to disable all images and media. If you turn this on, literally when you go to a website, no images load, no videos, no ads. So all images and media are disabled. I would say this is more of the extreme, but I know there's people out there that need this feature. They just want to go on, they just want to be able to read articles, and they don't want to be distracted by images or ads or things like that. So that's what disable all images and media does. It's just no images, no media when you go to a website. And then lastly, you have notification emails. These are all the emails that we send to partners when anything changes in the app. So when someone changes the detection level, partners get an email. When the PIN changes, when the PIN is deleted, when blocking adult websites is turned off, or notifying partners of whitelist changes, any of these things, when those happen in the app, all partners are notified. And again, this is just a fail-safe to make sure, let's say someone figured out the PIN, they go in and they start changing settings, you'll get emails for this stuff. But this just allows you to turn that off. And this is good too if you're using this Lion Family app and you don't need emails anymore. This allows you to kind of turn off emails and then just use the Lion Family app, which is great. Yeah, so that's parental controls. Those are all the parental controls that you can set up in Lion. Other than that, it's just a standard browser. I mean, you have bookmarks, history, you can download stuff, you can change your homepage, your search engine. Also, you can go in and set it as your default browser. This is highly recommended. Do this first. Once you disable Safari and things like that, you want to set it as your default browser. What this means is, you know, if you have an email client on your phone and you tap a link, it's going to open it in Lion browser. If you tap a link anywhere on the phone in any app, it's going to open that link in Lion browser. So setting it as the default browser is a must. And then you can kind of change the appearance and things like that. Again, this is Lion browser. It is the first app of 3. I mentioned a little bit about Lion Family, but I'm going to do a full video on Lion Family. So make sure you check out the other videos. If you like what you see here, please go to the website. It's lionfamily.org. Check out the apps. We have 3: Lion Browser, Lion Family, and Lion for YouTube. All of these apps are meant to help families guide their kids, teens, in using the internet in a responsible way. So check out those other videos. Thank you for watching. And if you got something out of this, subscribe. I'm going to be making videos about different tips and tricks on how to adjust screen time and settings and how to protect your family on the web. Thank you for watching.